Good morning, everybody. Early this morning, while most Missourians were still asleep, Republicans in the state Senate paved the way for the largest tax increase in Missouri history. Let's be clear, replacing the income tax with higher sales tax will mean more taxes for most Missourians. And the people hit the hardest are retirees, senior citizens, and disabled veterans who pay no income tax now, but will pay higher sales tax on doctor's visits and prescription medicines. As you can see, there was bipartisan opposition to creating this everything tax. But ultimately, there were not enough anti-tax Republicans to prevent a PQ. So we'll now go back to the House for passage, and I'm happy to take any questions.
So one of the major changes between the House and the Senate was getting rid of the automatic reduction of the income tax. Why was that a sticking point? It's why did that need to be in? Why did getting rid of that have to be in this amendment?
Well, in a lot of ways, it wasn't fiscally responsible. It could defund. As you've seen today, this year, we've seen folks come up here, they're disabled, and we're worried about getting in-home health care services. And you've seen a lot of people, basically, folks, what's happening around here, what I compare this to, and it's been said on the floor, but I've said it several times, it's going to be like the Hunger Games around here in this state, where you have desperate parties pitting against each other to try to get funds. And it shouldn't be that way. And we're not talking about lavish things. We're just talking about basic services for folks that need things to be able to realize their full potential. So that was one of the priorities of getting that out of there.
So what criticism you just made was probably about 100 times longer than everything that Democrats on the floor said last night about the bill. The criticism about it hitting senior citizens or the poor was made by Senator Moon, not a Republican. Why were Democrats silent during the debate? So
let's be clear. We were on the floor for 12 hours all day yesterday. We gavelled in, we were in for 12 hours. Democrats held the floor out there for 12 hours while other things were happening. For 5 months, we've been telling everybody what this will do. For 5 months, we thought it was more important that Republican senators like Lincoln Huff, Mike Moon, Joe Nicola, speak their piece to let everybody know there is some bipartisan opposition to this everything tax. So that is what the approach we took.
But if this passes and what comes to pass that you predict occurs, you can't say I told you so if you didn't tell them anything.
Well, we did tell them. We've been telling them for 5 months. We've been telling people for 5 months. I'm very clear. They actually had to hold a bill up for a month over in the House because of the messaging that we were doing. Because this is what it does. It raises taxes on 80% of Missourians. We've been saying that for 5 months. We thought it was important to have some Republicans kick into that message too, to let people know that it's okay to be against a bad idea.
So after 12 hours, were Democrats just too tired to spend an extra 5 minutes on it?
I think that's very unfair. We did a lot of work yesterday. We've been working on this for a while. And at the end of the day, this was the governor's priority. And at the end of the day, you saw we did not have enough Republicans, anti-tax Republicans, to defeat this bill.
Are you confident that voters may or may not reject this?
I mean, the polling data is it's underwater in many areas. We'll see how this plays out as we go forward. I think as more and more people tune into what this does, when they realize that everything that they do will be taxed at a higher rate, it's going to be a problem for them. It's going to be a problem for folks, and it's definitely gonna hit our lower income class folks, middle income people more. The rich are going to get off. It's not going to cost them. So people, I think, are seeing what is happening here. I hear us compared to other states like Florida and Tennessee. We don't have beaches. We don't have this big, huge music industry. We don't have, Nashville or Beale Street, all these other things. We don't have any of that stuff. And we've been saying that for a long time. It's not apples to apples when you compare other states. There are states around us that are doing better that have higher income tax. So that is not a thing. So
how do you think things will go in 4 years without automatic triggers? It's going to be up to a whole new crop of lawmakers in both chambers to carry this out. How do you see that happen?
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's what this bill originally did anyway. It took away the power from the people to raise taxes on them, and it gave it to the legislature. That's what this bill originally did, and that's what it's continuing to do.
So the negotiations typically on a bill like major bill, the majority that wants to pass it wants to avoid a filibuster. and the negotiations are geared towards that. Did the Democrats agree to not talk about the bill on the floor during the negotiations?
That's, no, so, no.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.